everybody. Welcome to GH Gospel Radio. It's exciting to be here with you this evening. And our topic is Let's Talk Marriage. Tonight's topic is something that came out from a comment that one lady made. And so this show is dedicated to Auntie Vivian. Auntie Vivian, you know who you are. And whenever you're watching this, we dedicate tonight's show to you. Okay. One time she asked that we keep saying that wives should submit to their husbands, but sometimes you submit for so long and then your husband is not minding you, your husband is not loving you back. And then I know for sure that a lot of men are also saying, you'll be loving your wife for so long and then she will also not be submitting to you. So maybe the fact that we say that when wives submit, husbands will love them, maybe it's not really true. But tonight we're going to delve a little bit more into it and share some insights and see how that works for us. So we are talking about how to work together to meet each other's needs. That's our topic for tonight. How to work together to meet each other's needs. Okay. And it's essential that as married people, whenever your husband is making an effort or whenever the wife is making an effort, you are able to meet them halfway. Because to be honest, when two people are lifting a load and the load keeps shifting from one person to the other, it's always much, much more difficult to get the job done. But if everybody puts in their effort at the same time, that's the key here, at the same time, you will find out that things go much smoother and things get much easier, because they said that a load shared, usually they say that a problem shared is a problem halved, right? So right here, a load shared is a load halved. Once you have two people putting in the effort at the same time, it makes it easier on everybody. From where I come from, there are sayings like, for a marriage to work, it will take one person to be a fool. I hear that over and over and over again. And there's also another saying that, oh, it takes the wife to make the marriage work, meaning that if there are any compromises or if anybody has to sacrifice, then it has to be the wife. But you see, over a period of time, when it becomes one person's responsibility to keep the marriage going, it puts too much pressure on one person. It is true that, hey, hello, Mr. Baini, so nice to see you. You are always here. God bless you. God bless you. You are welcome. Yeah. So it's like whenever one person is carrying the load at a time, it's stressful. And it does happen because once in a while, you would have to take one for the team. You would have to support your partner because maybe they are weak at that particular time. But that should be like once in a while. That shouldn't be like the general running of the marriage. So tonight, our appeal is simple, that to make matters easier on both the wife and the husband, both husband and wife should work together at the same time. That's what we are stressing on, because we know for a marriage to be sustained, somebody has to be working all the time. We're just saying that it shouldn't be one person working, because whenever one person is working, it's too stressful. We know that it happens, but we need to make a conscious effort that both of us are doing our best all the time to make it easier on the other person. It shouldn't be like, if a marriage will work, it will be the woman, or somebody always has to be the fool. Let us normalize the fact that both husband and wife can be happy in a marriage. Both husband and wife can have a fulfilling marriage. And once that we've said that, it sounds all simple, right? How can we break it down? How can we make it more practical? How is it that you would see that both of us are doing what we need to do at the same time so that we can both be enjoying the marriage? We will always go back to women submitting and men loving. And let me put that right. husbands loving and wives submitting, right? So when, like Auntie Vivian said, there are some husbands that you submit for a long time, but they will not love you back. So the first area to look at in working together, in meeting each other's needs, is that as wives submit to you husbands, you also love them back. Don't let the submission go on for years before you decide to turn around, because a lot of husbands are waiting for their wives to submit. Initially, they'll be like, oh, this is just their face, or they're just pretending, or whatever it is. But the thing is, as you love her, it makes it easier for her to keep submitting. It makes it easier on her, because once she knows that you really care about her and she's very important to you, it will be so much easier for her to submit to you. A lot of times, submission is hard because the women or the wives don't trust you, husbands. There are a lot of wives who would submit everything, they would do everything that the husband says. And then after a while, hello, Sister Augustina. So nice to meet you. So nice to see you here. You're welcome. Thank you for joining. Yes, a lot of times the wives will submit. After a while, when they realize that every time they submit, they are not getting anything back. Not that they should be looking to get anything back, but it's just natural. It's just normal that after a wife has been submitting for so long, doing everything that you say, and then she realizes that every time you get the chance, other people or other things are more important to you, she's going to get tired. She's going to withdraw her submission and use that one to support herself, so that she will also be able to count on herself, because technically she doesn't trust that you will look out for her. In the same way, there are some husbands, they will love their wives and continue to love their wives and be doing everything in their power for their wives, but the wives would just not be caring. They would just not care to submit to them. When a wife is submitting and a husband is not loving, it makes life difficult. When a husband is loving and the wife is not submitting, it makes life difficult. And what makes it even worse is that when the husband stops loving, then the wife will be like, okay, now let me submit and see if he would love me back. That is a time the husband will also be like, oh, I'm tired. I loved her and she didn't submit. So it becomes like a negative cycle, a negative feedback cycle. I've done it for a while. My partner did not respond in the way that he should, so I'm not doing anymore. Wives do it to husbands, husbands do it to wives. So we are pleading. We need to support each other at the same time. As your husband is loving you, make the effort to submit to him. And as your wife is submitting to you, make the effort to love her, because when you do your part, it makes it so much easier for the other person to do their part. Marriage doesn't have to be that painful. Marriage doesn't have to be one person's sacrifice. Marriage doesn't have to be, you don't know how it is. It's so hard. It is husbands and wives who make marriage hard. Yes, it's the human beings in the marriage who make marriage hard. As you do what you have to do, it's easier for the other person to do their part. And you see, sometimes the excuses that come up, oh, if she submits, then I will love her. Or if he loves me, then I would submit. It's like you're just wasting time, you're just finding excuses. If we would all focus on what our assignment is, on what our part of the bargain is, it will be so much easier to do the right thing. As I submit to you, love me back. As I love you, you to submit. Don't let it be one person submitting for years and they're not seeing anything. They will crack. They will withdraw their submission to go and invest in other things so that they can get results, because after so many years of submission, they haven't seen any results. And don't let the loving and loving and loving and loving go to waste. You should also reciprocate by submitting. And a lot of times it's more like, as the husbands are loving, right, and their wives are submitting, things are easier. Things work out well. Everybody is happy. So this is a major, 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 major way that we can support each other. We can help meet each other's needs. And we are stressing on the fact that it should be at the same time. Don't wait for your wife to submit so long, and then after a while, you'll be like, okay, now I'm ready to love you. No, as she's submitting, you to meet her halfway, share the load, make life easier. And you too, as your husband is loving you, meet him halfway, make life easier for him. Another way to meet each other's needs in the marriage is that, from where I'm coming from, many of the men love their physical needs being met. It's to the extent that many men don't even know how to do chores. And this might sound weird, but it's a reality in many parts of the world, and we choose to talk about it now. There are some men, they don't know how to cook. There are some men, they don't know how to clean. We are not calling for a census. This is not a feminism call, please. Please hear me out. This is not a feminism call. As your wife meets your physical needs, you also meet her emotional needs. Women are emotional, oh. Women.
Jesus, make my life a fragrance fit for you. My
Sorry about that. That was just a technical hitch. My fingers just pressed something and then I just went off. Yes, I did say that in some parts of the world, a lot of husbands don't know how to do chores. That's our reality. And that's what we're talking about. This is not a call for feminism. Let's take that out of the way. What we're saying is, as your wife is meeting your physical needs, you also meet her emotional needs. As you, as a husband, show appreciation to your wife for meeting your physical needs in the home, taking care of the children and all that. Hello, Auntie Vivian. We just mentioned you. This whole today's program is dedicated to you, actually. When you go to listen from the beginning, you will hear everything that we said before. You are welcome. Thanks for joining. Yes, so we said that a lot of the men from where I come from, or from where I'm talking about, they need their physical needs met. And we are not saying it's evil. We are not saying it's wrong. All we are saying is that as your wife meets your physical needs, you as a husband, you too show your appreciation by meeting her emotional needs. We are talking about how to meet each other's needs. And we are saying that when we do what we need to do at the same time, it makes each other's jobs easier. It makes each other's lives easier so that you are happy and I am happy. And now we are talking about the fact that it's important that when your wife is meeting your physical needs, you also meet her halfway by meeting her emotional needs. If your wife asks you to help in a small way in the home, make it easy for her by just doing it, especially if it's something really small. And sometimes when your wife is not able to do all the physical things that she needs to do, to be able to support you like she usually does, it's very exciting that you step in to help her out. Because no matter what, once in a while, somebody's going to get tired. Once in a while, is not going to be able to make the time. Let's just say your wife went to work, she's not back yet. Maybe the kids have to eat and you yourself have to eat. There have been situations where some husbands have waited until the wives get home before we talk about food, because food is not their business. You see, in such a situation, you make your wife very emotionally sad. Nobody is saying that she doesn't want to cook anymore. Nobody is saying that she doesn't want to meet that kind of need anymore. But you see, whenever there are lapses and you are able to support her, she also feels appreciated and she feels like you are a team. So even though you may have assigned that part of your life to her, as in she's the one taking care of meals and stuff, whenever she's unavailable or whenever she's in a tight spot, be ready to step in quickly. So you see, as your wife is doing the cooking and the cleaning and the childcare, whenever she needs you, don't make her beg too much. I know that sometimes husbands are forgetful. The wives will be like, "Oh, can you please get the trash, or can you please get me something from the grocery?" It's like they'll forget. And then they'll make you remind them like 200 times. That alone is discouraging. For me, what I do not to forget things is I know I have to do it. I just do it quickly and get it out of the way. Because the minute you say, "Oh, I'll do it in 5 minutes, I'll do it in 10 minutes," by the time you're aware, you never did it anyway. And then here's your wife sitting there being angry at you and feeling like you don't care. Men, save yourself the trouble. We are aware that a lot of times these things escape your mind. It's not like you're being mean or you don't want to help, but you forget. So, in order not to forget, if I were in your shoes, if your wife asks for help, just do it right there and there. She'll leave you alone. You leave her alone. Everybody is at peace. That attitude of when your wife needs you to help her out, she will beg and beg and beg and beg and beg. That creates a whole lot of resentment. And to make matters worse, when somebody else comes to ask you, then you go running. That one will even make the matter worse. When she asked you, you forgot. But then when somebody else asked you, you are knight in shining armor, ready to save the world. That makes it worse. And we keep saying that, you see, as your wife is doing her part, meet her halfway at the same time, not 10 years later, not 5 months later. As she's meeting your physical needs, you also meet her emotional needs. Once in a while, if she needs you, do it willingly and do it quickly. I know that a lot of women carry resentment about some of these little things. And because of that, it makes the bedroom very dry. I will tell you for a fact, every woman with younger children wants and loves support in the home with chores, because no matter what, it becomes too much. Even if you have one child who is under 5 or under 10, they still need supervision. They still need things to be done for them. So if it becomes the sole responsibility of the wife, your bedroom will be so dry, it will not be funny. So you see, as you need her to be available for you, you also meet her halfway. And I know for a fact that there are people that It's not like there are husbands that it's not like they are not helping with chores. In fact, there's some men that do great with chores, but maybe for your particular wife, her need may be different. So if you realize that you're helping her with chores, but she's still not meeting your needs anymore, you may want to just call her and ask her, what is it that you need me to do that I'm not doing? Or how would you want me to also support you at home? You understand? And once you ask her, you find out what in particular she wants, and then maybe you can try working on that. So tonight we're saying that our particular catchphrase or our focus is we need to meet each other's needs at the same time so that the load will be lighter on both sides and we can both enjoy the marriage. Husband will be happy, wife will be happy, and we will all be fine. So, the other way of making sure that we are meeting each other's needs at the same time is the fact that wives are supposed to support husbands' dreams. Wives are supposed to support husbands' careers. And most of the time, whatever the husband is doing, that becomes the main focus of the family, and everybody else fashions their lives accordingly. But we need to remember to help your wife also be happy. As you go along, you need to realize that your wife is also a human being. She also has her own dreams. So, whilst you're working on the main dream for the family or the main goal for the family, and of course, you can have a main goal for the family that both of you are working on, and then side dreams that's your own dream or her own dream that she's working on. As she supports you, you also need to support her. Don't make it like, oh, my wife is here to support me. End of story. She also has dreams. If she never married, she may not have been sitting down idle. And the fact that she married doesn't mean that her dreams are over. As she supports your dreams, you also support her dreams. And that might mean that you may have to take something more on your plate. We said earlier that there are homes that only the women take care of chores and stuff like that. Let's imagine that you belong to such a home, right? And your wife is the one taking care of chores and stuff, and child care, cooking, and all that kind of thing. And then she needs extra time to be able to fulfill her dream. She might have to travel, she might have to go away to go and do a course in school or something like that. It requires you to step up. For some time, you may have to be doing all the chores in the house. You'd have to take over all her responsibilities. And we are not saying that even if you are not able, you should do it all by yourself. The fact is that you should make room. If you need to hire people to help you, if you need to cut down on certain things, whatever her dreams are, you would need to make accommodations sometime to also help her out. Let's normalize the fact that as wives support their husbands' dreams, husbands also willingly make room in their lives and go above and beyond to do those things that they would not normally do just so their wives can achieve their dreams. And hopefully you're doing it for a set time. Hopefully you can both sit down and agree on the amount of time you're going to spend doing this so that when the time is up, at least you know there's an end in sight. If your wife is going to school for 2 years or she's going to school for 4 years, she's going back to school for 4 years or whatever, you know that at the end of the 4 years, things will change. And before the 4 years is up, these are the things we're doing to make sure that she has ample time to do what she needs to do. A lot of women complain that even though their husbands get to work and go to school and don't have to be taking care of kids while they do that, when it is the wife's turn, everybody expects the wife to be able to take care of children, do the chores and whatever they're cleaning and cooking and everything, and still pursue whatever it is that they are pursuing. And this one thing alone has been able to set a whole lot of women back. It is important that sometimes the husbands also step in, also encourage their wives. And sometimes it's not just about even being asked to help, it's about taking the initiative, knowing that as my wife is going to chase her dream for this 2 year period or for this 4 year period, I need to step in. She doesn't even need to come and ask you. But even if she asks you, you should be willing, and you should also help her, because it's expected that she helps you, that she supports you. So the same support that you expect from her, you to help her also get to some point. And for sure, it shouldn't be like that'll be the dynamic for the rest of your lives. No, it should be for a period, and you should both know how long it's going to be. If things happen and it takes longer, that's unavoidable. But at least as she is supporting your dreams, you also support her dream. And let it be side by side. Don't let her support your dreams for 20 years and then you decide, okay, now I'm ready to support your dream. No. Once you finish with your dream, work on her dream a little. And then you go back to your dream, you come back and you also work on her dream. A lot of people are carrying resentment, a lot of people are carrying pain, and to be honest, their very lives are not being very productive because of some of these things. So maybe we don't need to talk about all that, but I felt that it's very important that as much as we know, we remind ourselves that these are some of the little things that we need to pay attention to, so that wives will feel supported, their needs met, and husbands will also feel supported with their needs met. Let's normalize healthy marriages. And like Auntie Vivian said the last time, don't let it be like a wife will submit for years, but she'll not see any love from the husband. As the wives submit, husbands, you also love your wives back. And your love should be specific. Don't love your wives the way you want to be loved. Love them according to what they need. Know what their love language is and be specific to them. Know what you think would work. If in doubt, ask them. And the second thing that we also mentioned was that as your wife meets your physical needs, you also meet her emotional needs. Encourage her, praise her, be sweet with her, buy her gifts if you can. And also, when she asks for help, just step in quickly. If you will forget, then make sure that once she asks you, you just do it right then before you forget. That will save you trouble. That will save her trouble. And wives, you also make sure that as you're meeting the physical needs, you're meeting it well, especially bedroom physical needs. I know a lot of men complain about that, right? Yeah. And sometimes it's all from these other needs not being met, right? Okay. So tonight, that's not our main topic. So we are not going to dwell on that. And we said that the third thing is that as your wife supports your dreams, you also support her dreams. It doesn't just mean that, oh, okay, you want to go back to school, that's fine. Go back to school. No, it will require you to step in as a husband, to step in, take over some of the things that she's doing. And it's going to be difficult. Sometimes you may even need extra help, maybe grandparents, maybe hired help or something to help. But whichever way, you need to make that commitment and make that allowance so that it will not be like when men want to pursue their education and their careers, they are free to do it. But when women want to do so, they still have to take care of their children and still take care of their home before they do it. Sometimes it's possible, but most of the time it's not, and it slows women down, and a lot of women get kind of resentful about it. So tonight our takeaway is that for wives and husbands to both enjoy their marriage, we all need to be doing our part at the same time. Let's not wait for one partner to be carrying the load for so long before we step in, because as we leave the load for one person, it makes marriage harder, or it makes it harder for one person. As two people hold the load at the same time, both of you get to enjoy better. Both of you would have life easier. So that is what time would allow us for tonight. And remember that it takes a good Christian to have a good Christian marriage. God bless you. God bless your marriage. See you again next week, God willing, 6 p.m. Central Time. Okay. Bye-bye. Oh, thank you so much, Auntie Vivian. I saw that. God bless you. Thank you too. Bye-bye.